Welcome everybody to the Falcon one-shot. On the agenda, we have TransOcean 2 Rivals here today. As you can probably imagine by the title alone, this is the second entry in the TransOcean series so far. I've never played the first one, so I can't really compare how this one matches up to that one. However, what I do know and I'm aware of is that the TransOcean game is one of those, like, really economic-heavy business simulation tycoon games. And we're talking a lot of numbers, a lot of charts over here, which at first can be a little bit overwhelming. But the more you play it, the more addicted you get. There is a multiplayer function now in number 2, which was not available in number 1, so you could actually go up against other human-controlled characters as well. I believe it's up to 8 people at one go, if I'm right. So that's going to be the big draw of number 2. They've added multiplayer now. For the premise of this one-shot, though, we'll be doing single-player and campaign, because the campaign in number 2 does kind of pick up a little bit from where number 1 left over, and number 2 does explain to you what kind of happened in number 1, just so if you're a new player, not completely lost over here. The entire game is indeed voice acted, but I went ahead and disabled the voices because sometimes they can take a bit long to kind of explain their point, and I kind of want to get enough of, at least like a lot of content in this video as much as possible here, without having to sit back for voices and whatnot. So, we're going to have 3 goals for the first chapter, which is to deliver at least 20 contracts on time, deliver more on-time contracts than all your other rivals, and number 3, have 10 million euro more in your account than all of your rivals. Number 2 and 3 are really hard to accomplish early on, so I've only been able to accomplish the first one over here. I guess like maybe after a while you get to upgrade your ships, so you'll have a better chance of, like, you know, getting from one place to the other one faster, but at least early on it seems really difficult to get the silver or even gold medal over here. But let's go ahead and begin our chapter over here as soon as possible. Well-known shipping owner files for bankruptcy and loses everything. Rumors of crooked lawyers, saboteurs, and pirates won't go away. But who was behind it all? My god, why is there a knife over here? Shipping company consultant Hiram T. Witherspoon behind bars. Investor Lydia Blythe-Smith plays mysterious role, the beginning of a personal vendetta. Famous shipping boss after bankruptcy, withdraws to Alaska, reclusive life as dog sled pilot, sad ending for a tycoon. 5 months later. And here we have Heather Witherspoon, which apparently is the sister, if I'm right, of Hiram T. The guy that was apparently locked up over here. Hi there, I know you don't know me, but we have a friend in common. I am Hiram T. Witherspoon's sister, Heather. You have to help me get Hiram out of jail. You probably think it's impossible since you could never pay the 25 million bail. Well, not without your shipping company. But I didn't come to see you without a plan, without a good plan in fact. In the last few months, I've been working my way into the shipping business and giving it everything I have. But I can't make it on my own. I need you, especially if the rumors are true that Blythe-Smith woman was the one who put Hiram behind bars. I've been able to take out a loan that we can use to fund your shipping company and have opened an account with the 10 million euros. Are you with me? I'm begging you. For Hiram. Okay, you're living in Anchorage now. Well then, let's make that where we put our headquarters. Click once on the port itself. So I guess the first story, it ended up with Hiram getting locked up and you had to file for bankruptcy, so maybe the first one had kind of like a really sour ending, and this is a continuation of it. Let's see. So this is what your new home looks like. Okay, for a fallback position, but very soon you are going to have to spend more time in your headquarters, and here's a construction site for it on the right. Click on it. And that right there is going to be our headquarters over here in Anchorage. Now that's what I call a nice office. 2 million isn't too bad for it either. Really? Sounds like a lot to me, but okay. I've been able to pick up a ship on the second-hand market, but it's by no means the best, and pity it's only a feeder container ship. But then again, feeders are the smallest container ships, and they can reach all the ports that bigger ships cannot. Cool. Shall we go find the contracts for the ship then? This is the first step to putting together Hiram's bail. Would you like an introduction to the game? I'm going to say no because I kind of know what I'm doing, and I'll just kind of speed us through it a bit faster that way. So I'll say no. I am sure I want to skip the tutorial. So let me start off by pausing. First issue right off the bat I don't like. There is no pausing in the game. And that's something that the developers are going to probably add after the release. Right now they're kind of like hesitant about doing it. A lot of the people on Steam are asking for a pause feature because normally when you pause the game, you can come over here to your contracts list and just take a look at what's happening around here. You could see what would be like the most, the volume of your ship, the route itself, you could kind of plot it out. But if this isn't able to be paused, it's going to be constantly running in real time. So while you're over here thinking about your best route, the AI is automatically just doing whatever it's going to do and just beat you easily. So at the moment I am paused though because there is like a weird bug where if you hit space twice, the game actually does pause. But it's not intended to be a feature of the game just yet. I think it's kind of silly, but that's just me. Anyway, so we're at Anchorage over here. we're going to have our first competition in Masterson. I believe he's already kind of working around, but we are paused. So since we're in Anchorage, we want to go ahead and select a route for us to kind of deliver some goods, right? You have to take consideration about fuel, where you want to buy fuel, where would it be more cost-effective for you to buy a ton of fuel, mind you. We're going to get some repairs for your ship, how fast you want to travel, etc., etc. Depending on the speed that you select, it'll tell you how fast you get there. So you can essentially kind of plot a lot of different courses in one go, depending on how much you could actually carry in your ship, and then kind of make your decisions based on that here. So since we're in Anchorage right now, I'm going to go over here to Metro Vancouver. Sounds like it's not too far from us, and it gives us a few options as well. So for instance, right now we have this one over here for 300, I'll call them tons, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the right number here, but we'll say, like, actually it's 5,400 tons. Okay, whatever. So we could do this one for 960, assuming we get there before the deadline. If you don't get there by the time of the deadline, you have to pay a penalty as well, but, you know, we'll talk more about that later. So right now I'm going to pick this one up for 300. I can still carry a bit more, so we'll also go ahead and pick up the... What is this one? Yeah, we'll pick this one up as well. And I still have enough to take care of this one as well, and then that's it. That's all we can carry in our ship for now, because we do have a second-hand ship that's a bit smaller than usual. So we'll select those, and our destination is going to be Metro Vancouver. And then at that point, you can essentially select another location you want to go to. Metro Vancouver will have its own contracts as well, so you kind of plot a course from there to another place. You could actually queue up, like, say I want to go to Metro Vancouver, and then Los Angeles. I could essentially do that as well. But right now, I think Metro Vancouver is just fine enough, so we'll load our contracts. We'll go ahead and confirm it. Essentially, we're looking at around 2 million in terms of a profit if we get all of these in time, which we should. So let's go ahead and cast off over here. Yeah, I got it. And the game's running now, so that's fine. Let me go over to the world map now. Is that us right there? That is us. See you later, buddy. Let me go to the world map over here. So this is us up here. This down here is going to be our rival, our first rival, Masterson Corporation over here. Can I talk to this guy? Here he is. Hello, just wanted to introduce myself, Clark Masterson, Masterson Corporation. I see that you have also formed a shipping company. You're damn right I have. Now, my shipping company's the #1 outfit around here, and I don't see anything about to change. You reckon Falcon Industries can complete? Or can compete? Well, let's see. Ha! If you only knew, rookie! Ha! You're up for the challenge, aren't you? Show that Clark Masterson what's what. I shall. I could even talk shit to this guy if I wanted to. Fuck you, Clark. Yeah, I don't take kindly to AI people talking shit to me, my friend. Alrighty, so, over here we can speed up the game if we want to as well. Let's go ahead into second speed, and maybe we'll do third one. I'm really vigilant when it comes to, like, pausing the game all the time, so you'll forgive me for doing that a lot, but the AI has, like, a big advantage over you otherwise, so it's really important for you to pause. That's why they have to add that pause feature, otherwise it's just, like, very, very hectic. So, let's see. You're going to see a lot of that menu pop up over and over to save and load because you have to hit space twice in order to pause the game at the moment. So, here we are at Vancouver. We could check out the victory point score at the moment. So, Homeboy here has delivered already 6 contracts. I've only delivered 3. He has 15 million and I have 9 million. So, we are definitely behind to start off with over here. Let me go ahead and pick up the contracts in Metro Vancouver. Now, for Metro Vancouver, we can travel down to Los Angeles if we wanted to. There's only 2 contracts over here, so it doesn't seem too time-savvy for me anyway. We could head back to Anchorage, though, or we can make a long trip over to Manzanilla in Mexico. And there's a lot of contracts over here that I could actually meet in time as well, so that is an option. A lot of Manzanilla ones, as a matter of fact. What I could do, then, since Manzanilla is beyond LA, I could drop by LA, drop those off, and then continue down to Manzanilla afterwards. So at the moment, we're down at 396 fuel. So let's see about refueling over here in Metro Vancouver. Apparently, in Metro Vancouver is going to cost me 119 to fill up. The minimum global right now is 106, and the maximum global is 424. So I think that for, you know, what is this? Is that like 13 million more, I want to say? Yeah, roughly 13 million more. I don't think that's too bad, considering the minimum global is 106 and Metro Vancouver is 119. So we'll definitely fuel up over here, not a big deal. So now we're filled up again, everything's fine. Let me pick up the contracts for Los Angeles. And after Los Angeles, we're going to go straight to Manzanilla as well. So let me pick up... What are the most cost-effective ones here? We have one for 576. Let me get this one. And 291. Ooh. Can I pick up these 2 small guys? No, only 1 small guy. Well, let me pick up this small guy then. There we go. Cool. So we'll load up our contracts over here. We will confirm it. and we will cast off to LA the first one. So, there you go. Let's unpause over here, go into second time speed. And mind you, while this is all happening, I feel more comfortable playing on the map because I get to see what's happening in real time, but if you do get a bit bored, you could actually jump to the ports themselves and have some fun with that. So let me remember how to do that, though. I'm just so used to playing over here at this side, so I forget about how to get into the ports. Alright, so you'll pardon the cut over here. I was really curious about how to get to the ports over here so I could show it off, and I was able to figure it out. Essentially, from the world map itself, we're traveling over here to Manzanilla, Mexico. All you have to do is just click on the little port icon where you're headed to, and you will jump into the port itself, and you can take a look at this here. Meanwhile, you can see your boat come in. The ships that work the docks will occasionally go on strike as well. When that happens, you have to manually bring your boat onto the docks and all that other stuff here. And that's when a little bit of a small minigame takes place where you kind of have to control the ship into the docking area and then properly get it over there in time. But that's only when the ship union, I guess, goes on strike, which doesn't happen too often. You can actually control how fast or how often that happens in the options menu, but it's something that I have on the minimum just because I'm not really too profound with that just yet. Plus, the game also says recommended to have it on rarely because I guess it's a bit more difficult, but you know, that is an option here. I believe that's us right here. Excellent. Let me go back into the world map over here. Oh, yeah, that's us, definitely. So, let's, boom. So, we got over here to Manzanilla. How are we doing here so far? We delivered 10 on time. Homeboy was over here at 12. He still has the account balance, goal on me at the moment, but we'll see about that. So, at Manzanilla, let's go over here and go to the contracts list and find out what other options we have available. Our fuel is a bit low. How much is the fuel cost over here in Mexico? Pretty high. The minimum global is 137, Manzanilla is 234, the maximum global is 548. So, what I could do now is either fill up here, fill up partly, or just expect myself to find a better price in another destination and fill up over there. So, I'm gonna do like maybe like 196 for now. And since we're in Manzanilla now, we can head back to LA. LA has usually some better prices when it comes to fuel. We could also go to Havana as well. Go to Cuba over here, hang out with Fidel Castro, smoke some Cuban cigars, you know how it is. You could do that as well. I think LA seems to have a lot more contracts for us available though. So I'm going to say LA again. Click those, click that. That's pretty good right there. That is nothing to scoff at. Let's go ahead and, well actually, boom. Can I? No, can't do that one. So let's do the LA ones over here. We will load these contracts up. We have enough fuel to get to LA as well, so it's not a big deal. Confirm. And we will cast off. Let me go into second speed. Go back up over here. Actually, let's go into third speed if we can. I'm always vigilant about pausing it on time. So here we are in LA again. Let's see. Fuel. Let's fuel up if we can here. We have 192, 149. I think that's pretty good. We will fill up completely. Since I'm not over here trying to MOG the game, I'm not playing seriously, I'm gonna go elsewhere, like pretty far out to show you the other ports out here as well. So, since we're in LA, let me go all the way, forget Mexico, we're gonna go all the way down to Havana, we'll go over here to the Georgia ports, and we'll go to New Orleans. So you can see right here, these are gonna have penalties involved with them because I cannot get to these in time for the deadline. It takes me a lot longer. But I want to show off what happens with the penalties right here, so let me load these contracts up, confirm. And by the way, you could actually cancel these out whenever you want to, but if you do cancel them out, there's a really, really big penalty fee involved with those, so I'd rather not do it unless you have to, like, there's like a really big issue why you can't make it there on time. I would go ahead and not cancel those out and just pay the penalty fee over here, instead, as opposed to, just canceling out completely. So let's cast off over here to Havana if we can. Let's go into the second speed. Havana's going to be all the way down here. We have to go through the Panama Canal. Some ships will be way too big to pass through certain canals and stuff like that, and they'll be too big for certain ports as well, so you gotta keep that in mind. Luckily, the ship that you start off with does give you access to just about everything, so you don't have to worry too much about it. There's gonna be like permits and stuff like that down the line where you have to kind of like enable in order to get to different areas, so keep that in mind. Let's go to the Havana port over here. Where's my ship at? Shippy? You should be showing up soon, buddy. Can't see you, but you should be here somewhere. Alright, cool. So we got to the Havana one. However, we still have the one at New Orleans, which is going to be deadline. This deadline as well. We're completely out of fuel. Luckily for us, Havana's price for fuel isn't really too bad, so we just fuel up completely. And, let's see, we're heading to New Orleans and Georgia Port. Anything else for those two areas? We have some Georgia Port ones over here, so we'll do that. That and that. Load those contracts up, confirm. And cast off to New Orleans. Hang out over here in Mardi Gras. Let's go back to the world map. There we go. Got there on time. Here's my penalty, by the way. 212, so we did get a lot of money. Sometimes the penalties aren't really too bad. Like, I would just rather pay the penalty for 212 because the big price of these deadline contracts do cancel out how much you're paying out of hand yourself. However, if one of the goals for the chapter is to, like, do not get any late deliveries and stuff like that, you might want to ignore those at that time. But if you're just looking to get a lot of money, for instance, you could probably pick one of the ones that are going to be, I guess, finalizing before you get there and the dateline involved, pay off the fee, and it'll still kind of work out in your favor and stuff like that. So, this is TransOcean 2 Rivals. There's a lot more goals involved here, but as you can see, we're in the campaign. It's barely the start over here, so it does take a while to get going, but it's a really fun game. It's oddly really, really addicting to me, at least. Like, the moment I started playing it last night, I was kind of like, yeah, let me just play a bit longer. And then once you open up the rest of the world over here, it's a lot more fun because you could travel all over the places. You could actually, in the endless game mode, you can select what port you want to start off with, which is really, really fun. But TransOcean 2, all the information for this game will be in the description below if you want to check it out. Comes out today. I want to say this video should be going live on the day of the release, which is going to be the 10th, if I'm right. I will catch you next time.